Aliza, selamat datang.
Ya, terima kasih. Welcome to everyone too.
Alright. So Puan Aliza, kita nak testing sekejap. Puan Aliza punya slide. Boleh try project dulu.
Okey, sebentar. Okay, can you see my slides?
Okay, Puan Aliza cuba sama ada buat slideshow ataupun
Ni dah slideshow dah.
ada slideshow. Sebab kita masih nampak dia punya thumbnail dekat belah tepi apa semua tu.
Okey, sebentar. Tak masalah. Sekejap.
Cuba sebelah ada icon sebelah slideshow tu, dia ada satu ada icon dia tu. Cuba. Puan, dekat bahagian bawah tu ada ikon slideshow kan? Bahagian bawah.
Present
Bawah
now.
kat reading. Dia ada tulis reading ni.
Okey, sekarang you nampak apa? Sekarang you nampak...
Sekarang tak nampak apa-apa lagi.
Okey, alright, sekejap.
Kita
So, present, right? Present
dulu.
Okay. I share. And then slideshow. Okay, nampak?
Okay, slideshow tu dia tak macam dia tak ada view. So sebelah slideshow icon tu ada reading.
Reading view. Kita Puan Aliza punya reading. Yes.
Oh, so I kena reading view
Reading view kita nampak dulu.
Okay. So dari sini suara slide ni dah clear. Kita akan start pukul 10.30. Ada 10 minit lagi. Sementara tu kita tunggu dulu partisipan masuk lah ya.
boleh.
Okay, baik. Terima kasih.
Okey, come.
Assalamualaikum, Puan Aliza.
Salam, Dr. Azmi. Hai.
Ya. Puan.
Kawan baik. Saya ni macam ada hangover sikit sebab we just had our SDS dinner last night. So macam we came back late and so dia macam hangover sikit lah.
Sedap je. InsyaAllah.
It's okay, but kita dah prepare hari kita discusskan. So sure what we cuma dia macam lagu sebab kita orang kena present buat persembahan semalam. So macam lagu mesti kita tengah nyanyi yang baik. Itulah macam hangover.
Bagus kita ada partisipan yang boleh jelas.
Suara Dr. Azmi jelas. Puan Aliza, dari segi jemputan kita dah ajak kita dulu ajak prospek-prospek yang berminat untuk daftar program-program yang berkaitan. Dan ada juga staf dari kita punya pusat pembelajaran di seluruh negara lah.
ada soalan ke? Ya. Teruskan.
Tak nak tanya soalan.
Kita ada 5 minit lagi.
Ya.
Puan Aliza dah standby air dekat sebelah.
Oh, tak apa, sekejap je. Saya dah
Hangover tu tekak kering.
dah breakfast apa kita dah breakfast hari. Sekejap.
morning. Selamat pagi semua.
Morning.
Okay, doktor, dari keadaan 5 boleh start. Thank you.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and good morning everyone. And welcome to this coffee talk program this morning. So my name is Azmi Mohamed, and I will be the moderator for our program today, for our coffee talk program today. I'm also actually a program director. Good morning everyone. Master of Quality Management Program, Coffee Talk Program this morning. Attached to, so my name is Faculty of Technology and Applied Science, Open University Malaysia, UPJ. And first of all, I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us today. I know that everyone's schedules are busy, and I really appreciate your willingness to participate in the programs. And also very good morning. Assalamualaikum to our invited speaker, Puan Aliza.
Salam, Doktor.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, welcome to our coffee talk program this morning. Okay, so I think I would like to start the program with the introductions of our invited speaker. Okay, our guest speaker or invited speaker is Puan Aliza binti Zainal Munir. She is a senior consultant at SIRIM STS Siam Berhad, and she has about 20 years working experience in manufacturing industry as well as in training and consultancy. And her training and consultancy experience include conducted in-house training programs and consultants in consultation in ISO 9001, ISO 37001, ISO 55001, Six Sigma, QC, QCC, ICC, apalagi 7QC, SPC, including total quality management, risk management, and customer service. So these are the area of expertise of Puan Aliza. And she also conducted a lot of public and in-house training program and consultation actually for many clients and organizations like Petronas, SMW, Proton EDA, TNB, Gamuda, and many more. Okay, and also Puan Aliza was a panel of judges for Innovative and Creative Circle ICC Convention for State of Pahang, State of Selangor back in 2007. So KPJ Healthcare Berhad Quality Convention 2008, ICC Convention Shah Alam City Council 2010, and also Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission ICC Convention in 2016. Okay, and she also has developed a lot of training modules for Six Sigma Executive Insight, Six Sigma Yellow Belt, and also Green Belt certification, and introduction to Lean Six Sigma. And for your information, Puan Aliza, she's graduated in Bachelor of Science in Electrical Electronics Engineering from University Tenaga Nasional. Okay, and she also graduated in Master of Quality Management, Open University Malaysia, meaning that Puan Aliza is an alumni of Open University Malaysia. So welcome to our program, Puan Aliza.
Thank you.
We are very happy that Puan Aliza can be with us this morning to share her knowledge and views on the topic to be discussed. And our topic today is Six Sigma, continuous improvement strategy in Industry 4.0. Okay. For this program, it's a kind of a dialogue between me and as a moderator with Puan Aliza, and also at the end we will have a question and answer session with the participant. Okay, so I think let me begin with the first question, Puan Aliza. Okay, so regarding our topic today, okay, to begin the discussion, I think it is essential for us to know and understand about Six Sigma itself. So, Puan, perhaps you would begin the session by giving a brief overview of Six Sigma, such as what is Six Sigma, why is it called Six Sigma, and also are there specific methodology used in Six Sigma? Okay.
All right. So just bear with me. I try to share back the slides again as we have tested just now.
Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Can you see my slides?
Okay. You can see.
All right. Okay. So as Dr. Azmi have requested just now, some overview on Six Sigma. Okay, so Six Sigma is actually a process improvement concept. So Six Sigma is to define it. We can have several angle of defining it, but I'll spare you all the statistic details. We'll go just an overview of it. It is a term to define the various techniques and management tool designed to make businesses process more effective and more efficient. So this term Six Sigma came from Motorola actually. So Motorola holds the trademark for the term Six Sigma. It was developed by Motorola in the 1980s. In the Malaysian context, Malaysia was introduced to this concept of Six Sigma in 1990s. Okay, in the 1990s, and it was brought by the multinational companies to Malaysia as part of their global corporate strategy for process improvement. So over the years, we have seen Six Sigma implementation not just in manufacturing process or companies, but it has also extended to the transactional or service sector. We have seen financial institution, banking, public sector, as well as healthcare that have implemented and experiment with Six Sigma implementation. Going into a bit more detail, the Six Sigma is actually to improve process. Six Sigma is actually to improve customer satisfaction, and the key to Six Sigma is actually to understand how your input variable in the process affect the output. Okay, so we always try to have good output in our process or in our work. We try to reduce defects, but reducing defects without understanding what goes into our process, it will always fail. So part of the Six Sigma process is actually understanding how our input variables affect our output. Understanding this and expressing it in terms of a mathematical expression, as what you see in the slide, is actually what Six Sigma is all about. So when you change your input, you will definitely have your output. So in order to have a good output, changes needs to be made to the input. And the term Six Sigma actually comes from the bell curve, the statistic bell curve. So here, when we talk about Six Sigma, we are dealing actually with the sigma. That sigma value in the statistic that represents the standard deviation from the center. A process with Six Sigma will achieve a very low defect rate. Process achieving Six Sigma will have less than 3.4 defects out of a million opportunities, meaning that if you are producing 1 million product, you achieve Six Sigma level when you have only less than 3.4 defects coming out of your 1 million product. So Six Sigma actually talks about near perfection, but it doesn't mean that you will only apply Six Sigma only when you are near perfection. The goal is actually continuous improvement. So therefore, a Six Sigma practitioner strive to improve process from the very worst level until you reach the perfection level of 3.4 defects per million opportunities. Dr. Azmi?
Okay, thank you, Puan Aliza, for the overview of the Six Sigma. I think you have given us a good introduction about the importance of the Six Sigma and also the purpose of Six Sigma. And we know that this Six Sigma is a popular quality management methodology because it has been proven to be effective in improving business process and also increasing efficiency within the organization. Okay, so I think since the mid 1980s, a large number of manufacturing and service organizations have widely adopted Six Sigma as a business process improvement strategy, and we can see these tools have been popularized by a lot of multinational company especially. Okay, my next question, are there any specific standard that can be used by the organization for the implementation of Six Sigma methodology or Six Sigma project?
Yeah, if you read or go into the web, you would see a lot of companies referencing that they are offering Six Sigma, or companies as well as training providers offering Six Sigma. Just to let you know, which a lot of people are actually very unaware of. There are standards for Six Sigma. Because we are SIRIM, so we are called the national champion of standards. So we are national champion of standard. We try to put everything into standards, because without standard, you cannot hold the implementation. You cannot enforce the implementation. You know, when we say SIRIM, ada SIRIM baru beli, right? So everything must have standards. So for Six Sigma, there are standards actually. The International Organization of Standardization (ISO) has actually developed two sets of standards with regards to Six Sigma. Okay, so the Six Sigma, we have ISO 13053, quantitative methods in process improvement. Six Sigma, DMAC methodology. So DMAC is actually the process steps that is used to do a Six Sigma project. So it follows strictly this define, measure, analyze, improve, and control phases in the Six Sigma project steps. Okay, so that's where DMAC comes from. Okay, so the ISO 13053 has actually two sets of standard. Number one is on the DMAC methodology. Number two is on the tools and techniques on how to go through the Six Sigma various process steps. Okay, so these standards actually describe the best practice or preferred way for each of the phases of DMAC methodology used in the execution of Six Sigma project. It also recommends how Six Sigma project should be managed. So if an organization try to adopt a Six Sigma implementation, so what is the best way for an organization to embark to it? So the standards actually provide a guideline on how to do it. Okay, ISO 18404 is a quantitative methods in process improvement, Six Sigma. It actually spells out competencies for key personnel and their organization in relations to Six Sigma and Lean implementation. So for those of you who are quality practitioners, you will know that there are two big ideas or school of thoughts in terms of process improvement nowadays. One is Six Sigma, which which is actually like I said just now, brought in by Motorola. And another one is Lean, which is actually popularized by Toyota through their Lean production system. And actually, Lean and Six Sigma can work hand in hand together. So if you read journals or research paper, you will come across terms Lean Six Sigma, combination of both Lean and Six Sigma. So the standard on 18404 is actually looking at competencies for Six Sigma as well as Lean for the key personnels in the organization. And for those of you who are interested for to get hold of this standard, I have put there the link to the SIRIM STS website. So you can go to our website to that link in order to get hold of our personnel to purchase the standards. I have checked couple of days ago with our sales of standard personnel. The standard is priced in because it is an international standard, so it is priced in Swiss franc. So due to the currency exchange, it is quite pricey. So out of if you are curious to know how much it costs, it is about 880 per standard.
Ringgit, Malaysian ringgit,
Yeah, ringgit.
Oh,
Yes, 880 ringgit per standard. Okay.
Okay, thank you for your explanation, Puan. I think we are very clear now. Very clear that actually there are standards that organization can refer to implement the Six Sigma methodology. The two standard explained by Puan Aliza. Okay. I think Puan, when we talk about Six Sigma, it is important for the organization to have a strong team of individual with various skill and background to conduct this Six Sigma project. Okay, and a typical Six Sigma organization will have a Six Sigma expert or black belts to evaluate the business process and then determine ways to improve the existing process. And actually, there are several levels of certification in Six Sigma, including white belt, yellow belt, green belt, black belt, and also master black belt. Okay, so my question: what are the roles for the full-time Six Sigma professional within the organization, and what does a Six Sigma belt do actually?
Okay, so this is I always get this question when it comes to Six Sigma, because when you talk about Six Sigma, then people come about black belt. They are the belts level, so it always gets to the best of curiosity of everybody. You know, when I go to interviews and people say, so Aliza, you are a black belt, so people will stay away from me because they are putting it into an assumption and analogy that is like the taekwondo belt. Yeah, actually it originates something more or less something like that. They are putting it into the belt in terms of the ranking and how you progress, like if you know how taekwondo progress, right, in terms of the competency or the level of expertise. So it works more or less the same way for Six Sigma. Nevertheless, the three main we say belt categories in Six Sigma as defined in ISO 13053. There are three belts. There are yellow belts, green belt, and black belts. Okay, so the full-time belters are actually the black belts. Yellow belts and green belts are actually part-timers. Part-timers, or meaning that they own the belt, but they do the work part-timely, meaning that they have other job function in their organization. So they don't do Six Sigma process improvement projects full time. But for black belt, as per my experience previously, I work on full-time black belt projects um, uh, as part of my job scope or as part of my JD. And as a black belt, typically you need to do you are full time as your role in black belts normally in organization for 2 years. For 2 years, okay. So we are expected, the KPI put on us is actually minimum 4 to 6 project per year. So you have to juggle multiple projects at one go, okay, and you do project management, and you have team. So it doesn't mean that Six Sigma, as a Six Sigma black belt, you are expert. You are actually expert in managing the process, managing the project management. You have good project management skill, and you are also expert in the Six Sigma tools. But when you improve process, you've got to have the process expert in. So this is where you harness the team capability. So you have a good team with you, and these are the team, your team members are the one who's going to work with you to improve the process. Typically, 2 years you are supposed to improve that process, and there is also a KPI of the amount of project savings that you can bring to the organization, because a Six Sigma is very tied up to the management KPI of cost savings to the organization. Okay, because when you improve defects, okay, when you improve defects in the organization, you reduce the rework cost, you reduce the what we call warranty cost, customer complaint cost, okay, to the organization. So there typically will be a KPI of the amount of financial savings that you will bring in to the company, according to each project, and an annual target of financial savings that you need to bring in per year, as a result of you completing your Six Sigma project. Okay. And if you are curious to know, those who are going for your enrolling for your master in quality management in OUM, you will encounter your one of the subjects, or in your master in quality management curriculum is Six Sigma. And you will be it is good to know, for you to know, that the syllabus for your Six Sigma syllabus in OUM MQM is actually has been constructed to meet the green belt requirement. The depth of the syllabus actually to per the green belt curriculum, as per the standard requirement. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Puan Aliza, for your clarification about the certification. And you also mentioned about our Master of Quality Management programs. It's a good promotion, especially to our potential candidates. And yeah, we have this subject in our program, as mentioned by Puan Aliza. And I think students who join this program actually will learn all this, and by our expert. Okay, so okay, actually Six Sigma, we know, is a data-driven approach, and relying on the statistical analysis and also measurement to identify areas for improvement and also assess the success of changes. Okay, so this actually make it rigorous and scientific method, kaedah yang kita kata ketat and scientific for process improvement. Okay, Puan, based on your experience of conducting a Six Sigma project and as a continuous improvement practitioner, what actually the common issues or challenges faced or you encountered?
Okay. When you do process improvement, there are actually common challenges when you do process improvement, as well as there are specific challenges when it comes to Six Sigma process improvement. So as per my experience as a Six Sigma practitioner, as well as a consultant, okay, as general challenge when you do process improvement is that process improvement is change management. So for those of you who are learning management, you know, if today, every day you eat with right hand, so suddenly one day somebody comes and tell you, today you must eat with using your left hand, and you are not a left-hander, how would you feel? It is a painful process, right? Okay, so change management is always a painful process. So trying to change people to do different way because you want to improve things is always a painful process. So in that sense, when you want to ask people to change, you will always encounter resistance. So resistance is normal. So you will pick up, if you are a quality practitioner, you will pick up this skill with experience actually. So don't feel kita kata demoralized, okay, when you encounter people who say we don't want to do this, we don't want to do that as per your recommendation. You will face that definitely, because if you empathize and you recall back what I said just now, if every day you eat with right hand, somebody asks you to eat with left hand, and you are really hungry at that time, you are starving, okay, definitely you will also feel very disappointed. Okay, so jadi you must have empathy, and do not stop, or do not stop trying to influence, okay, influence as well as motivate people to see the right point of view of doing things or to improve the process. So that is common process improvement challenge, you know, change management. So in terms of Six Sigma, because Six Sigma deals a lot with statistic, and I think in the Malaysian context, when we talk about statistics, a lot of people will shudder. Uh, that is what I feel. That is the opinion I get. Sometimes I go to organization and they say, we like the concept of Six Sigma, Puan, but can you please not say the term Six Sigma? Because if you say the term Six Sigma, it sounds so complicated. So people shut away or hide away from it. Okay, because not everybody are researchers, not everybody are actually learning Six Sigma in school or statistic in school. So it's sort of like people tune off straight away. So the key is to actually um, go slow and try to put things in a very layman perspective. So the ability of a Six Sigma practitioner to actually translate business process to statistical problem, you know, and then finding statistical solution. But when you communicate to the general public in the organization, you must be able to translate back all that statistical language into a layman business solution or layman business or management language that is will be receptive or will be tolerable and accepted by generally all across all layers of employees. Okay, and the skill of a Six Sigma people, okay, so analytical skills, critical thinking. So when you do your Six Sigma project, creativity, asking questions, you know. I remember when I first interviewed for my first Six Sigma post, I was a fresh grad actually. But I was so scared and I asked a lot of questions. So my master black belt at that time hired me because but he said he normally don't hire fresh grads because of the challenge that you face. Not many people like to be questioned by fresh grads, correct? Okay, but he took me on the job because he said I asked a lot of questions, and asking questions, you know, is a skill that not something that you can learn from textbook. Okay, so asking questions is a soft skill that you need to sharpen, and it needs a lot of practice. It's an acquired skill. So for these are the skills as we go into technology-based organization, critical thinking, leadership, management skills, reasoning, problem solving, analytical. These are all the skills that human skills that are required as we compete with machine, as our machines are become more intelligent and moving towards advancement of the industry 4.0. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Puan Aliza. It's a quite lengthy explanation. I think it's a good for our audience to know about this, the challenges in the Six Sigma project implementation. Okay, so you mentioned, Puan, that technology in the industry 4.0 can overcome actually the challenges faced. Okay, the industry 4.0 is now with us, and it is characterized by the convergence of physical and cyber technologies to produce intelligent digital transformation. And the term industry 4.0 has been used since 2011 actually for referring and addressing the widespread integration of advanced information and communication technology for industrial purpose. And many organizations and practitioners have aggressively attempted to implement the concept. So my next question, why do you say that the technologies in the industry 4.0 can facilitate the Six Sigma implementation?
Okay. The challenges that we face as Six Sigma practitioner or process improvement coordinators and executors in organization. Those of you who are familiar and those of you who are in your job scope as a quality personnel, we have to collect a lot of data, right? And when data are collected manually, there are points of human error, miss out in sampling plan. When data is supposed to be collected, say you have a sampling plan saying that data needs to be collected 12 data per day, or 5 data per hour. So if it's collected manually, they are prone to be errors, they are prone to be loopholes in data collected. Not to mention, sometimes that is unintentional errors. There are also a tampering, tampering with or falsifying of data. Which happens because of many issues. So data integrity is one obstacle that we face in doing process improvement. Another is getting real-time data. When I first started as a Six Sigma practitioner, at that time we are still in the industry third revolution. Computers were coming up. We still don't have apps. So nothing, no smartphones at that time. So getting data is always on a delay. We as a quality practitioner, we know that defective product has already come to go to the customer side. Then only we collect data and we look and analyze the data. Then only we know, we already have defect. By that time, the customer is already calling us and saying, hey, why are you sending us defective product? Okay, so because at that time the use of real time data was not extensive. So those are some of the hinders that we have. And with I 4.0, when we have the convergence of all these innovative technologies and innovative solutions that coming in, so it makes the work of a Six Sigma practitioner, and not just Six Sigma practitioner but quality practitioner as a whole, much easier because of the connectivity that we have. Okay, so we have sensors that collect and transmit data. Okay, IoT. We have software. We have cloud. Okay, to make sure that our data integrity will always be there, to reduce tampering, to reduce errors. Okay, we have robotics and connective technologies such as machine learning and artificial intelligence that can, highlight to us when our data has reached below level or go, uh, you know out of control, or when you look at your control chart and the data goes out of control immediately, it sends an alarm to your app, to your smartphone, so you can always be on top of the issues in your operations. So that's uh, that's one of the things that it can help. So as well as collecting data can become easier. My experience previously was, when data needs to be collected manually, sometimes you have to spend 1 month in the organization to actually collect manually data. So you it takes a long time for you to respond and troubleshoot problem. But if you have data collection process through IoT, which is real time, so therefore I believe you can cut short the process of collecting data by half, and therefore speeds up your process improvement process. So if ideally previously when we learn Six Sigma, it used to take us 4 to 6 months to conduct one process improvement projects. So with perhaps with IoT and Industrial 4.0 connected innovative technology that we have now, the duration of conducting process improvement projects, Six Sigma process improvement projects, can be cut down to half the time, and this can actually be value added to organization, because when black belts can do more project half the time, and cost savings can be more to the organization. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Puan, for your explanation. Yeah, the emerging technologies in the Industry 4.0 really actually a challenge for us to respond in order for us to take advantage of the IR 4.0 technologies, especially in the cutting down of the data collection in the Six Sigma. Okay, because now we live in a world in which billions of people can be connected to each other through, for example, mobile device with unlimited access to knowledge with the help of these emerging technologies, such as what is mentioned by Puan Aliza, big data, IoT, cloud computing, and so on. Okay, so we can agree because IR 1.0 really changing all aspects of human life, including the culture of quality management in industry, I believe. Okay, so my last question, Puan Aliza. With the Industry 4.0 revolution, would you say that Six Sigma process improvement is here to stay?
Oh, definitely. If previously or currently Six Sigma is only to the elite group of the quality practitioners, okay, because elite group, why? Because of the belters, so the belt of sort of like put us into a cult like or a elite group, okay. But with I 4.0, I believe that all quality practitioners actually have to embrace the Six Sigma, because with technology and a lot of big data coming in, you are dealing with lots of data, and this is where Six Sigma is. Six Sigma loves data, a lot of data, because to analyze statistically, you need to have a lot of data. All right. So you previously I struggled to get data. But there is no longer an option for us, no excuse anymore for quality practitioner with I 4.0 to have no data. because you get big data and lots of extensive data with I 4.0. So therefore, I believe that the concept of Six Sigma is here to stay. And in fact, if you read journals now, there's even an association or assimilation with I 4.0, with quality, I 4.0 with Six Sigma, that new terms are emerging. New quality terms are emerging, such as quality 4.0, okay, Six Sigma 4.0, okay, are emerging because of the integration between Six Sigma and as well as technology innovation in Industry 4.0. So I foresee that if in defined phase previously, when I do projects, I have to come up with checklists on what data that I should be collecting. But now I can have dashboards, okay, I can download data from apps, okay, I can have IoT data transmission. I can straight away from my tablets or from my iPad, from my handphone, get data and straight away analyze and synthesize the data to come to see where the potential problems are. Okay, so in measure phase, if I were to see abnormalities, I will have reduced error in data tampering or collecting data. In analyze phase, okay, verifying root cause would become easier because previously we'll have graphical analysis. Now we can have predictive analysis. Okay, in order because we have machine learning, AI to help us to predict what the future production or what the future process behavior would be like, and not just analyzing from previous data or historical data. Okay, and we have improve and control phase with sensors, data integrated into process back. Okay, so the 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 concept of Six Sigma is still there, still relevant, but the implementation of the project may require tweaking, may require tweaking so that it can still be jive with the current process of what Industry 4.0 brings in with the technology that the our manufacturing or our process ecosystem has now.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Puan Aliza, for your explanation. I think if you look at the current scenario, a lot of manufacturers for inspection and measurement device actually produce their instruments with the features of IR 4.0 ready. So what you have said is actually will help a lot, especially in terms of IR 4.0. Okay, and then the integration of IR 4.0 and Six Sigma actually provide a cost-saving advantage in a critical situation to apply the lean technique practice. Okay, so I think this integration has a great impact on the manufacturing industry and actually worthwhile to be explored in various industry, especially in our country, Malaysia. Okay, thank you, Puan Aliza. I think we have gained the useful information from our discussion, especially regarding Six Sigma as one of the approaches in quality management. So hope we can meet again on other occasion and opportunities to talk about other matters related to quality management, which also Puan Aliza expertise on. Okay, so I think we will proceed with the question and answer from our participants, if there are any questions. So I think, from Mr. Tajuz,
Dr. Azmi. So I'm T.S. Tajuzaman, Director for Bachelor of Manufacturing. So one of the questions from this chat box from Miss Wendy. So does Six Sigma belt certification require to renew every year like ISO certification?
No, actually, ISO certification is required for an organization, but for Six Sigma, it is a personnel certification on the person. So in order to get a black belt, okay, the requirements as per I show in the slide just now, you will need to undergo the training program, okay, sit for a written exam, pass the written exam, and actually across the board it is a sort of a standard practice, which also that's why we refer to the standard. You need to complete 2 Six Sigma project in order to be certified. Yes, that is always the hindrance. I get that a lot. If the exam is okay, so that's why a lot of people in Malaysia, they get the green belt, because the green belt only requires you to go for the training program and then sit for the exam. So that is less commitment for you, right? A less commitment for you. But in order for you to ensure that you have completion of the 2 projects that will actually take you 6 months or nearly 1 year, to actually commit to do the project and submit to for SIRIM. We do offer this, okay, we do offer this training, and then we let you go for you to do your own project, okay, but we don't guarantee whether you pass or not on the assessment of the project. So you submit to us your project, you submit to us for us to evaluate, and we will use the standard that I showed just now as the assessment criteria to assess whether you have reached the depth and the level of a Six Sigma project or not. So for us, we use the standard as our guiding guideline. Okay, so I hope that answers your. And once you get the certification, it stays with you. It stays with you. Okay, all right. So you no need to renew it. Okay.
Miss Wendy, please proceed with your question.
Okay. Hi, Puan, Aliza, Wendy here. Okay. Regarding your answer just now. Okay, I want to ask, right, the project you were referring, it's like any project we choose or the project that the company assigned to us?
Yeah, you can use the project because otherwise where you want to get data, right? Okay, so the data will definitely.
Because that I have a problem is my company, they are not very interested in Lean Six Sigma. What I'm trying to propose to the company is I want to like show it, like prove it to them, like the Lean Six Sigma is actually very beneficial to the company. But if they do not allow me to apply Six Sigma in the projects, then I will not have any project to do, right? So
Yes.
how to say, it's like the project that for SIRIM to access, can I like just use like any, like maybe some of the Lean Six Sigma tools apply to the projects, then I use that like to get the data and everything, and then I do like a report kind of thing. Is that what SIRIM is requesting for the project?
Well,
for
you
assessment?
have to understand that the goal of Six Sigma is actually to improve a business process. Okay, so definitely it has to be tied back again to the organization, and it has to be the savings. The savings of a Six Sigma project needs to be validated by the financial performance of a particular organization. So it needs to go back. It needs to go back. It
Okay,
needs to go back.
understood.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, if you go through the training process, you are a trained black belt, but not a certified black belt. We across we have even had this calibration session with a number of consulting companies, black belts from across consulting companies. We don't want to lower the standards, because if we give you the certified Six Sigma, okay, without you doing the projects, okay, we have lowered the standards or not meeting the standard, the normal standard that is across the board. So I get your question a lot. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Next. Yeah, Mr. Tajud.
Another great question and a good question from Mr. Nasharuddin Hanif. So how does the Six Sigma integrates with lean management? So because it seems that Six Sigma is based on statistical procedures, meanwhile lean he believes is qualitative.
Okay. So we have this among us consultants, we say that Six Sigma is based on like sort of a toll gate process: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. So if you don't pass the toll gate of define, you don't go to measure and you don't go to the next process steps, right? Okay. But Lean is more like a cookbook style. You know what you want to cook. You want to cook 5S or you want to do 5S. Okay, here's the way to do 5S. Okay, so if you want to do total preventive maintenance, okay, here's the steps to do total preventive maintenance. So the integration between Lean and Six Sigma can be of at different phases, but generally if you read the standards which I showed to you just now also, even internationally across the board of all the across 100 and nearly 200 countries that were deliberating about Lean and Six Sigma, they cannot agree. They cannot agree because there are practitioners find different ways of integrating Lean and Six Sigma, but generally is when you define when you scope your project, you will use the Lean tools of value stream mapping, you know, to identify roadblocks or bottlenecks, to identify bottlenecks, okay, to identify potential bottlenecks or problems in the organization. And then those identified bottlenecks, okay, will then have individual projects, and these individual projects will then take the form of DMAC, define, measure, analyze, improve, and control phases of Six Sigma, for it to be executed, you know, as a project management tool. So you can so whether it's a simple project or complicated projects to have a statistic inside it, when it's data extensive, then the Six Sigma tools will come in. If it's a just do it project, or you know, then a simple tool of Kaizen from Lean, and showing the difference of before and after, you know, will come in. Okay, so that's how flexible it is, the combination between Lean and Six Sigma.
Assalamualaikum, Puan Aliza.
Ya.
Okey, ini saya Maslan, saya daripada Pengarah Bantu. Okey, kalau ikutkan tadi apa yang dibincangkan tadi, dia ni ada melibatkan dengan sistem Jepun ke SOP?
Boleh cakap kuat sikit tak, Cik Mazlan? Saya tak berapa dengar.
Okey, ini yang daripada yang saya dengar tadi, yang tentang untuk ISO ni, dia ada satu pendekatan dengan SOP ke yang sistem Jepun ni?
SOP, Standard Operating Procedure?
Ya, betul.
Okay, bila kita kata ISO standard, it provides a guideline on how to do things. Okay, so jadi when the standard talks about how an organization should execute its Six Sigma kita kata initiatives, you know, because so jadi perhaps there is a policy that needs to be in place. I was a Ford trained and certified Six Sigma, Ford Motor Company, trained and certified Six Sigma black belt. So in Ford, the policy is, you know, the policy is to groom black belts, okay, every year they will have a batch of black belt to come in, 4 to 6 people, okay. So jadi, and then they will go through trainings, okay, they will be bonded so that they complete 2 years of their Six Sigma attachment lah, okay. And then after 2 years, they should be kita kata diserapkan ke dalam the management across all the department, because we believe that in order to change an organization, you must put people with the same wavelength and same thinking across all organization, correct?
Oh yes.
that speeds up the change management process. So that's
Yeah.
how the psychology of change management and process improvement comes in. So other SOP, not so much on SOP but policy at the organization wise. Okay, and then also when you do Six Sigma, it's not just this quality team that needs to be strong. It's the whole organization. It's a top down approach, that needs to be in, because your finance people need to also understand Six Sigma project, because your finance people need to come with the rough calculation of potential savings at the defined phase of the Six Sigma project, and then recalculate back the actual savings as you close the projects or the control phase of the project. So at my practitioner time dulu, I selalu gaduh dengan our financial controller or CFO.
Oh. Okay.
because the way engineers calculate financial saving is not the same with accountant calculate financial savings.
Oh.
So we always have this disagreement lah. Then finally the CFO say, you know who signed the profit and loss? I signed the profit and loss. You want to sign the profit and loss? Yeah, I don't think you have that limit of authority. So that is where we say, okay, we give up and say, okay, we follow whatever you say. So that is always the disagreement or the discussion that we have, as well as HR. Okay, HR also needs to be in the loop, because the rigorous training program that we have. When I was a black belt, practitioner black belt, we train green belts. Part of the KPI is not just doing project, but we have to train green belts as well. It's part of the change management process. We have to make people talk the same language, understand the same thing. Not many people want to understand 3.4 defects out of a million opportunity if you don't go into into the campaign mode, campaigning that. So our KPI was 4 training per year, 4 green belt training per year that we have to conduct every quarter. We take turns to conduct all the black belts. Okay, and then we have to mentor green belts with their project, because green belts are part-timers, which they use the Six Sigma methodology in order to improve the process that they are working at. So the probably it is an procurement engineer trying to improve their own procurement process, lead time to procure. So when they come, they have stumbling blocks with the data, they don't know how to analyze, so they come to the black belts, because we are more expert in the data analysis process. So they ask us how to synthesize this data further, so we have to coach. So not just do project, we coach green belts. We also need to babysit, we call them babysitting the green belts with their project. Okay, so the curriculum, the structure of the program also needs the HR people to be in. So it's more or less policy. We've got to make sure allocation for training to be there. The financial people understands when the black belt say, I'm in my defined phase. Okay, can you help me to sort of like roughly estimate what are my potential project savings. They have to understand defined phase. They have to understand the DMAC process. I'm in my control phase. Okay, calculate my actual savings. And every month after financial closing, I have to calculate the financial saving out of Six Sigma project per month, like month-end closing for accounts. Okay. And then in annual report, Ford used to have in their annual report also financial savings from Six Sigma project. There is that spelled out in our annual report. So it's an integrated, right? It's an integrated total. The whole of the management must embark on Six Sigma, and that's what the standard is talking about. Not just on the personnel or the individual personnel enhancing his skill in Six Sigma and getting Six Sigma certified, but the whole organization direction must be towards the Six Sigma implementation and initiative. It's the policy. Okay.
Okay, so Jadi yang macam yang saya tengok tu macam define, make sure, analysis, improve dengan control ni memang seakan-akan sama, cuma dia ada beza dia. Tapi dia punya cara yang Puan Aliza cakap tadi memang ada persamaan. Jadi yang macam Six Sigma ni senang cerita lebih lagi detail lagi lah
Ya, kalau kita biasa kalau ISO kita ada plan, do, check, act, correct? Right? Okay.
Betul.
So the PDCA cycle is refined to become define, measure, analyze, improve and control.
Ya, betul.
You're right.
Betul. Dia maksudnya update untuk penambahbaikan lagi baik lagi. Ya. Jadi macam mana saya nak buat khusus untuk 5 hari ni kita apa ni maksud saya kita kena bayar ke ataupun macam mana kita masuk kelas?
Dr. Azmi, kalau if you are embarking or enrolling into the Master in Quality Management program for OUM, one of the syllabus is on Six Sigma. So kita memang ajar the steps, define, measure, analyze, improve and control, and the tools are there. We assist you. The class is there to assist you for the whole journey of the Six Sigma DMAC methodology.
Yes. Ya, untuk student Master Quality Management kita memang ada satu subjek khusus untuk Six Sigma. Jadi seperti yang Puan Aliza beritahu tadi lah. Jadi kalau untuk student kita memang dah ada. Macam Cik Mazlan student juga kan, tapi saya tak pasti daripada program mana.
Okey, saya ambil business management sebab sebelum ni saya pernah
MBA.
Sebab saya pernah kerja Jepun dekat Toshiba sebagai senior tech. Jadi saya tahu sistem ni adalah tentang untuk macam mana macam kita nak lebih mahir dan kita macam satu grup yang elit lah. Betul. Apa yang doktor sama dengan Puan Aliza cakap tu memang betul. Dia memang ada persamaan sikit. Cuma yang lebih detail lagi yang semua ni memang detail. Sebab saya tengok tadi macam mana doktor dengan Puan Aliza bercerita tadi, saya dapat tangkap. Ya. Ya.
Cik Mazlan, SIRIM STS offer green belt training juga as part of our training and consultancy program. Cik Mazlan boleh contact saya di aliza@sirim.my, aliza@sirim.my. Saya tulis di chat.
Okey.
Okey, ada lagi?
Puan Aliza ada dua soalan lagi. Satu yang daripada Cik Nasharuddin tadi, dia tanya, saya di student ni untuk PhD business ni. Okey, dia tanya, what would be a good research domain in Six Sigma, especially for business admin doctorate? Mungkin dia nak cari mana gap yang ada dalam Six Sigma ni, mana dia fokus area. Ada ni cadangan.
Well, you could try to Google Lean Six Sigma 4.0. Yeah, because that's new. That's really new for us all. Six Sigma practitioner, kami sangat wow dengan benda ni. How you want to perhaps do a new framework for the DMAC with regards to integrating it with I 4.0.
Okay. Soalan seterusnya daripada Encik Diaudin Sufian. This is from YouTube ni chat. So salam to all. Referring to your presentation is more focused towards the DMAC approach.
Yeah.
But then how about DMADV? Analyze, design and verify. Can you elaborate further in the context of IR 4.0? And then saya cakap lagi, my next question is how Six Sigma give impact to the software industry?
Okay. Alright, so DMADV, what's the difference between DMAC dengan DMADV adalah DMADV is used for new process setup. new design, new process setup. Okay, so jadi this is where is define, you measure, define and measure is against to rather than you punya process parameters, you are defining and you are measuring against the customer requirement, because you are designing things to meet the customer requirement, correct? Okay, you analyze and then you last kali you design and then you verify. Okay, you verify and validate whether your design has met what the customer wants initially lah, what the customer requires. Okay, so yes, in terms of DMADV, the issue is DMADV has not been a lot of kita kata a lot of research done into it, because the popular concept is actually on improving existing process. So that's where DMAC comes in. So for design, bila you buat DMADV in I 4.0, yes, I think it's the same application with ease of data, with because we have now, kita kata designing also made easier, you know, prototyping, you can have software designs rather than you have to do things physically and then baru you ukur and then baru you buat balik. So the design process has become very much faster, okay, and very much ease of experimentation. Ease of experimentation is there, okay, with I 4.0. So I see that DMADV and DMAC together will definitely flourish with I 4.0 coming in. Okay, if not, the issue is in the Malaysian context, our industries, this is a bit discouraging. Okay, the government and academics are actually pushing for I 4.0, but in actual implementation, that has not really taken off to a lot of organization, especially in the local context. Okay, in the multinationals, it's thriving definitely, with COVID coming in and a lot of business struggling with post-COVID situation. So this I 4.0 in the local context is not actually jump start yet. Okay, and for software, yes, if you are designing software, DMADV is actually a good the good methodology or the right methodology approach that you should take in using the Six Sigma methodology. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Puan Aliza. So next question from Miss Wendy. Okay, ini mungkin Dr. Azmi boleh jawab ke apa? Okay, I already graduated from MQM OUM. Should I still take the Green Belt certification?
You can say that you have been trained as per your syllabus. Okay, so this is during your interview, okay, with prospecting employers, you know. So I see that the question would have taken place like this lah. Oh, I see that you learn Six Sigma in your transcript, you know, as seen in your transcript. So what do you learn inside there? So you can say that the depth of the knowledge of the Six Sigma is as per the Green Belt knowledge. Okay, so you can say that. But if you rasa you want to sit in for exam to get the certified, I mean nobody can halang you from doing that lah kan. But doesn't guarantee whether you get pass or not lah. That one I cannot guarantee. Okay, so but okay, use your MQM cert to your full advantage. Okay, use your MQM cert to your full advantage, because SIRIM has been involved with the curriculum development with OUM in the MQM syllabus, and we envision the graduates coming out from MQM to be a of a certain standard lah, okay, for quality practitioners. So we put that in place. Okay.
That's a question.
Same question from Miss Puspa Lata. So she's currently taking MQM courses. So how can she go for the yellow belt course?
You jangan pergi yellow belt lah, rugi. Your yellow belt is just like an extension of what I've just explained just now, just a bit more lengthy until 2 days. Okay, we go. But when you go, have you gone through your green belt your Six Sigma syllabus? You
Yes.
learn. Right, you learn hypothesis testing inside there, correct? Betul tak?
Yes,
You've
correct.
got control charts. Those are green belt level already. Don't sell yourself short.
Okay.
Rugi.
Because we are taking as a subject, if we be in a certificate, so be easy for us to show to our company, right?
Yeah.
Rather than we explain that as a subject, is an certified is different, totally different. As
Make
per
sure
my
you score good grades for that subject.
Yes, I scored also.
Perhaps Dr. Azmi, maybe we can talk further about this. Can?
Maybe.
I'll bring it to SIRIM on how we can facilitate further, you know?
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Puan,
Ya.
Aliza, saya ada satu question.
Yes.
Nama saya Chandran, saya daripada OUM Seremban. Okay, saya nak tanya, saya kerja dekat Indah Water.
Yes.
So boleh ke saya buat on the Six Sigma on the green belt ni? Sebab saya most on operational. Saya on the OMD, operational maintenance. So kita tak involve, kita memang ada cost because we call the contractor to do our rectification work, all these things.
Yeah.
So memang ada involved dalam finance lah, tapi kita tak buat balance sheet, all this kita tak buat. Kita just call the contractor because we got allowed some budget for repairing through the years. So kita akan guna duit tu untuk repair whatever necessary because we are operationally kita run kan. So boleh ke saya buat, sebab saya pun OEM student, saya student Dr. Azmi ni.
Okay. So jadi what are your defects? That is the question number 1. What are your defects? Is it the late response time to do to do breakdown maintenance ke?
Kita ada because we work based on customer claim, customer complaint.
Yes.
Because throughout Malaysia kita satu company saja in the water kita take over or an entire nation. So kita memang receive our complaint, but even though kita ada SOP all these things, but still you have failed to achieve our LOS.
So if you want to start on finding potential projects, you go through your complaints, okay? Do a data analysis on your complaints. What are the highest complaints? Okay, you can do a Pareto chart on that, okay? And aim for the highest. Okay, so because if we want to merely reduce complaints, there's going to be a lot of categories of complaint, correct? But we should find the one that is highest occurrence, okay? So categorize that, gets the highest occurrence, and then kita look from that point of view. So your savings would be on reducing those complaints, because complaints means that you have to fork out extra to do troubleshooting, kan? Betul tak? Kan? Otherwise you can just stay with your scheduled maintenance. But when you have complaints, you have to invest more or fork out money more to do those troubleshooting. So that's where the potential saving comes in.
Okay. Thanks. Okay. Maksud boleh lah tu?
Boleh.
Okay, thanks.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Puan Aliza, saya Afida daripada OUM Ipoh. Saya pun adalah student kepada Dr. Azmi. Just berbalik kepada soalan Wendy tadi, kan berkaitan dengan green belt. So apa sefaham saya faham apabila kita adalah pemegang holder master MQM, so means kita dikategorikan sebagai green belt. Betul tak?
you belajar knowledge level of green belt punya depth.
Okay, syllabus je lah standard dengan green belt. So sewaktu-waktu kalau saya dah selesai master and then ada kelapangan untuk sambung ke black belt, pembuktian saya yang saya di stage syllabus yang saya dah belajar tu adalah di green belt tu adalah master saya sajalah.
Yeah, transcript you. So if MQM students want to go further for black belt, kalau dengan SIRIM STS lah, because we endorse the syllabus. Okay. Okay, jadi kita tahu because we actually know the depth of your syllabus that you go through. Jadi we can take you as your MQM punya transcript for your keputusan for your Six Sigma tu can become a prerequisite for you to do your black belt punya training.
Okay. Alright. Okay, faham Puan. Terima kasih.
Okay, sama.
Okay, so saya rasa kita kita sudah menjawab semua soalan lah daripada partisipan kita. Okay, so saya rasa kalau ada soalan lagi mungkin boleh diajukan terus juga kepada Puan Aliza di email yang diberi tadi. Dia Puan Aliza always willing to to assist, to answer your question.
I have soft spots for quality practitioners.
So you boleh email lah Puan Aliza, aliza@sirim.my tadi kan.
Yes.
Okey, jadi saya nak ucapkan terima kasih banyak email yang diberi tadi. Sudi bersama kita Puan Aliza, always willing to to assist. Dia sangat sibuk to answer your
I have soft spots for quality practitioners.
Tapi saya rasa kita telah melalui satu perbincangan yang sangat saya rasa informatif lah untuk kita semua, especially dari sudut quality management itu sendiri. Jadi saya ucapkan terima kasih juga kepada semua partisipan yang dapat sama-sama meluangkan masa this morning. Terima kasih banyak yang dapat hadir juga. Okey, dan kita harap kita akan dapat berjumpa lagi lah di lain-lain kesempatan dengan tajuk-tajuk yang banyak lagi, because Puan Aliza ni dia punya expertise sangat besar. Kalau tengok CV tu, ini satu saja baru jadi kita boleh mungkin di lain-lain masa lah, so kita boleh adakan program Coffee Talk macam ni lagi lah, insyaAllah. Okey, itu saja saya rasa. Saya ucapkan terima kasih semua dan kita jumpa lagi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera. Selamat pagi.
Salam. Thank you everyone. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Sama-sama doktor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Puan Aliza.
Thank you, Puan.
Thank you, Doktor.
Ya. Terima kasih semua.
Thank you, Doktor. Thank you, Mak.